Hello and welcome to another week. Welcome back. I have returned to the country and I'm going to do a real short one this week because I actually had planned on taking this week off and doing just a little note and saying how much I appreciate you all, following up last week's episode while I was away on vacation. But I actually just did a panel with an agency talking about some of their employee assistance programs and decreasing stigma and helping people who are caregivers. And I felt really energized by that panel that I wanted to just do a quick conversation with you all. If you've heard of an employee assistance program, have you heard of an EAP? Are you familiar with the concept? I don't know. I feel like not enough people are made aware of the mental health services that they have available to them. And so I just wanted to I actually think I'd like to maybe have somebody on and do a fuller, longer podcast on this, fuller show. But that's not what I have. Like I said, I feel energized right now by the conversations that I just had. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an overview about what an EAP is, how you can access it, why it's important, mental health, ding, ding, ding. For those of you who are aware. So I know some people who listen to this podcast do not work outside of the home and do not work for pay for somewhere. So you may not have access to individual EAP, but you can always ask your spouse or your partner or whoever's insurance you might be on, if that is your case, if that's your situation where you're on somebody else's insurance, and see if their EAP has partner, spouse, domiciled partner benefits. Yes. And so also, again, as I talk about a lot on the show, like insurance, access to mental health care, that's quite a privilege. And so it's not available for everybody, but those of you who it might be available to, I'd encourage you to check and see, because you've got these benefits just sitting out there not being used. So quick history from the Office of Personnel Management on opm.gov. Little history of federal employee assistance programs. Actually started in the 40s to talk about alcohol use at the Yale Center of Alcohol Studies. And they kind of did a plan for business and industry where they talk about the importance of getting help for alcohol use disorders, which is not what we called it in the 40s, but that's what I'm going to call it now because it's what we use the DSM-5. And then in the 50s, it actually expanded and included any employees that had any sort of mental health concerns, not just alcohol use disorders. So that's really exciting that we even as long as ago as that, we were kind of looking into saying, how can we help people who work for us? In the 70s, the Hughes Act actually mandated EAPs in federal agencies. So the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism was actually established, which helped promote EAPs even further. And then actually in the 70s, just firms that were literally created, their whole reason for existing were EAPs. So the 70s really moved it forward quickly. A lot more stuff happening out there, again, federally mandated through the Hughes Act. And then currently now, obviously, we've got a lot of laws, regulations, even federal initiatives in place that are expanding EAPs in federal agencies, and then the expansion of services for family members, which is what I was talking about before. So even if you are a family member of an employee and you don't work outside of the home for wages, as a partner, a spouse, whatever your status might be, I would encourage you to ask if that's your situation. Let's see if there's something available for you. So yes, EAP, right? So we're talking about professional help. A lot of the EAPs that are available out there, master's level clinicians who are available to, if not within the assessment piece of like trying to get you directed to where you need to go, they have access to master's level clinicians who will be your provider. So marital, family problems, financial issues, life work balance. And please notice I said life work, not work life work balance, right? Emotional stressors, substance use disorders, certainly. And then of course, anything related to work, right? So if you're working and you're having stressors at work, I would check with your human resources department to see about what sort of things they have available for you. I know it's pretty compulsory to have like 6 or 8 free therapy sessions per incident of issue, which again, very specific language there. So again, check with your people, get the information. But some other things that I thought was really helpful to know, they were talking to me today. One of my questions was about caregivers, right? And so if you're caring for a child or an adult, maybe your parents or some loved one, the importance of checking in with what your benefits are as the carer, and then also what their insurance has available, right? So is there respite service available? Are there day programs available so that you might be able to have some time or some assistance in the time that it takes you to help care for these people? Transportation available. I know, for example, Medicare, Medicaid, depending on your state, of course, talks about transportation. So if you have a doctor's appointment and you can call and get that set up, maybe that can be something that helps you to take some of the caring off of your own plate. So I just would encourage everybody to look into what their services are, what their insurance, what their mental health coverage is, and specifically looking into specifically that employee assistance program, because it's separate from your insurance. It's not the same thing as just whatever your card is and calling the back of the number on that one for services, which I also encourage you to do and see what services they have. I will say some of the stuff that I'm talking about, in my experience, not with every insurance agency, because I haven't worked with everyone, they don't really advertise that they have these services. So, you know, I don't know. I don't want to be negative, but they don't necessarily say like, look at all the ways that we can provide things for you. You got to do a little searching yourself. So definitely encourage you to reach out to your HR director or whatever their title might be, your partner, have them reach out to their director of whatever human resources is called at their agency, to get you set up with the EAP, to check in and see what is available both on your insurance and to the EAP. Because I'm all about getting people help, right? If you think you might be wanting to get insurance, my goodness, I'm still on vacation brain. If you think you might be wanting to get some sort of help, then that's your signal that it's okay for you to get help. You remember Dr. Hughes from Bloom Pediatrics was talking about, if someone else's back hurts worse than yours, are you still not going to take ibuprofen? No, right? There's no such thing as trauma Olympics. Stop trying to participate in them. What you need to do, get yourself into some sort of services if you think that you might be able to benefit from them, which I'm obviously biased and think everybody could. So if this is your sign from the universe to give somebody a call and check in and see, do I have any sort of benefits available that I'm not taking, that I'm not accessing, that I'm not taking advantage of? So this, like I said, going to be a short one this week. Going to have some good guests coming up for you, but I didn't have anybody scheduled, obviously, because I was not in a podcasting space last week on vacation. So look into that. Let me know, send some notes in the chat, in the comments, if you've got any tips or tricks for everybody who's listening. And I will leave you once again with be curious, not judgmental. Make it a good one.